Fox News alert, anger and frustration from a guy who says he was strong-armed by the Obama administration. Tom Loria, attorney for one of Chrysler's major debt holders, claiming the White House threatened to ruin one of his clients' reputation unless they agreed to take a major financial hit prior to this bankruptcy deal.
The pressure has been, I guess, indirect. They all felt like they were kind of called out by President Obama when he made his announcement of the bankruptcy last Thursday, specifically referring to them as the speculators who forced the bankruptcy and refused to make any concessions to allow Chrysler to reorganize.
We're taking on the Oval Office here in a brand new hour of America's Newsroom, trying to get White House reaction to this. I'm Megyn Kelly.
And I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning. Loria speaking to us about 30 minutes ago, and the White House has a much different view of his position, some suggesting that he is a liar.
Mike Emanuel is live at the White House. Mike, good morning. All right, so just to set the stage for our viewers, Tom Loria initially came out and said, I represent one of these creditors, and they were directly threatened by the White House that if they did not accept the White House deal, they were going to be publicly humiliated by the White House press corps. Then the White House came out and said that's untrue. Then Tom Loria's client came out and said, well, we deny that version of the events. Now Tom Loria no longer represents that client, but he's got many other clients involved in this Chrysler bankruptcy, and so when he sat on set with me moments ago, he said, look, given the fact that now my client is telling a bit of a different story, I can't say anymore. But he said the truth will come out here. And he talked about his other clients who are also Chrysler creditors, and you heard what he said about them moments ago. What, if any, reaction from the White House this morning?
Well, Megyn, we've been asking for more than 24 hours about this. The suggestion that Steve Rattner may have made a threat in these negotiations.
That's the car czar.
We've been told it didn't happen. Yeah, the car czar. We've been told it did not happen. Neil Cavuto asked Austin Goolsbee, who, of course, is one of President Obama's key economic advisors, about it. And Goolsbee said while he wasn't privy to the conversations, his understanding was it didn't happen. Let's take a listen to what he said to Neil.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not privy to this. Everyone involved, except for this lawyer, says that this did not happen.
Goolsbee also said, you know, he found it a little amusing or interesting, the suggestion that they would sic the White House press corps on this company, considering that they would say that they don't control the White House press corps. Megyn.
Right, and others would disagree. Goolsbee, however, is not the only one. Can you talk to us a bit about the White House response outside of Austin Goolsbee to this claim? And just so our viewers know, just to remind them, Tom Loria, what he said to a radio station is exactly this. Let me quote him. Perella Weinberg, that was the client who he represented, was directly threatened by the White House and in essence compelled to withdraw its opposition to the deal under threat that the full force of the White House press corps would destroy its reputation if it continued to fight. Now, what happened with Perella Weinberg was after President Obama came out and said, I do not stand with those creditors, is it did cave. And it did wind up supporting this deal. And after it caved, it came out and said, well, Tom Loria's statements weren't exactly right. They don't really represent exactly what happened. Some have said that's not a denial that they were threatened. It may just be a denial that the alleged threats were the reason it caved. We don't know, because now Tom Loria can't contradict his client. Perella Weinberg's not saying anything more about it. But what else is the White House saying about it outside of Austin Goolsbee?
Well, Megyn, you know, it's interesting. As someone who worked in Washington for a long time, I mean, if it's a delicate matter, a lot of times you get something on background from officials where they say you attribute it to a senior administration official or a White House official. But in this case, Bill Burton, the deputy press secretary, somebody you interviewed many times during the campaign, came out on the record and said it did not happen. Then there was Austin Goolsbee on Neil Cavuto's air saying that his understanding from everybody involved was it did not happen. And so it's interesting that this time, even though it is a delicate matter, that they've come out pretty much guns blazing saying it didn't happen.
Yeah, they have. And just so our viewers know, this guy, Tom Loria, is no small fish. He heads up the bankruptcy practice at one of the most respected law firms in this country, White & Case. It's very unusual to get these guys on the record, much less making claims like these. Now he's saying the truth is going to come out, and when he's at liberty to speak on it more, he says he's going to. Mike Emanuel, so interesting. Thanks so much.
We'll be watching.
We are one step closer now to a